there, fantasy owners. Welcome to LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're chiming in via YouTube, listening via podcast, but really do appreciate the support, and no matter how you're streaming it there. We're continuing along with our team previews, and today we're going to look at the Vancouver Canucks. We'll take a look at their depth chart according to dailyfaceoff.com. I do really find them, especially during the regular season, to be the most accurate. So we'll take a look at their projected goaltending tandem, defensive pairings, forward lines. We'll mention what specialty team units players are expected to be on. Really help you determine players' fantasy value for your upcoming drafts there. So we'll get right into it. The goaltending tandem should be Thatcher Demko and Spencer Martin. Now Demko, he's 26 years old. Last year played a ton, 64 games played. He was 33, 22, and 7, so nice win total there. One shutout, a 2.72 goals against average, and a .915 save percentage. Really nice save percentage as well. Spencer Martin, he's 27 years old. He played 6 games last year. He was 3-0-3 with a 1.74 goals against average and .950 save percentage. So, of course, backup Martin's probably not going to, well, he won't have a .950 save percentage this season. He definitely shouldn't. He's only played in 9 career NHL games, and before that he was sub 900 before this year for career average. Should get some starts though, assuming the Canucks don't sign a veteran goalie or trade for somebody, etc. for the backup position. Demko will be the guy who's going to carry the bulk of the load. He gets you a bunch of wins, 30-plus win season last year, nice save percentage. No reason why he won't be fantasy relevant. Is he going to be a top 5 goalie? Probably not fantasy-wise. Could surprise you. He does have the talent, but more than likely not. Your safer picks are obviously Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, etc. there. But Demko definitely will be fantasy relevant. He's going to play a ton for you and will get you quite a few fantasy points. Top pairing in Vancouver will be Quinn Hughes and Luke Shen. A little bit of old and new there. Quinn Hughes, he should be on the top power play unit, second PK unit. Only 22 years old. Last year, 76 games played, 8 goals, 60 assists for 68 points. So really nice point total. Almost a point per game is only a 22-year-old, 68 points. Those defensemen don't come around often, so draft him and you'll definitely reap the benefits. Of those 68 points, 31 were on the power play, only 19 hits, obviously not known for throwing the body, and really low total for a defenseman, but of course you're drafting him for the offense, not for his hit totals. 56 blocks and 150 shots on goal. Luke Shen, he should be on the second PK unit. He's a decade older, 32 years old. 66 games played, had 5 goals, 12 assists for 17 points. So not your offensive superstar like Hughes, but opposite. He throws a body a ton. 273 hits last year, 96 blocks, and 78 shots on goal. So for hits, he's definitely going to be fantasy relevant for you. Decent amount of blocks at 96. You're just going to lack the offensive production. So depending how your league is weighted, rotisserie league, you might want somebody to up your hit totals where you can sacrifice a little bit of offense. Might provide some value for you. Second pairing will be Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Tyler Myers. Now Ekman-Larsson, he should be on the second power play unit and top PK unit. He's 31 years old. Last year got into 79 games. He had 5 goals, 24 assists for 29 points. So basically still a 30-point defenseman. Obviously not the offensive numbers that he used to get in his prime there, but will be decent streaming on an off night, etc. Of those 29 points, 10 power play points, so still produced on the power play a bit. 105 hits, 79 blocks, and 168 shots on goal. His D partner, Tyler Myers, he should also be on the top PK unit. He's 32 years old. Last year, 82 games played, 1 goal, 17 assists for 18 points. So not a lot of offensive production. One of them was on the power play. Not quite sure how that happened, but he did get one on the power play last year. But decent hit and block totals. 145 hits, 148 blocks. That's where, depending how your league is weighted, might provide some value for you. 128 shots on goal. And the third pairing is Travis Dermot and Tucker Pullman. Now, Dermot, he's 25 years old. Last year, 60 games played, not fantasy round. 2 goals, 5 assists for 7 points. Only 55 hits, 46 blocks, 46 shots on goal. Honestly, if somebody drafts Dermot, thank them because they left somebody better there for you. There's not much fantasy relevance there. Pullman, he's 29 years old. Same thing, no fantasy relevance, but we're going through everybody anyways. 40 games played, he had 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. Only 33 hits, 73 blocks, which is nice block total for only playing in 40 games. 47 shots on goal, but realistically, you're going to leave him alone there. We'll jump into forwards. Top line should be Elias Pettersson, JT Miller, and Brock Besser. Now, Pettersson, he should be on the top power play unit, 23 years old. Last year, 80 games played, 32 goals, 36 assists for 68 points. Started to really turn it up, especially in the second half there. He'll obviously be fantasy relevant for you. 27 power play points, 49 hits, 43 blocks, 192 shots on goal. Next one, JT Miller. Should be on the top power play unit. He's 29 years old. Last year, 80 games played, 32 goals, 67 assists for 99 points. Almost another 100-point guy in the league. 38 power play points, 172 hits, 56 blocks, 206 shots on goal. Since he's come over to Vancouver, he's been extremely fantasy relevant. Like, he's been a really, really good player. Him staying in Vancouver for this year anyways, definitely don't see things changing. It's definitely going to be fantasy relevant for you, and do draft him. Because his numbers have exploded if you look at what he did for the Rangers in Tampa. Then when he came to Vancouver, his numbers have definitely increased by quite a substantial margin. Besser should be on the top power play unit. He's 25 years old. Got into 71 games played. He had 23 goals, 23 assists for 46 points. Considered a down year for him because he's known more as a goal scorer. But he should bounce back, be in that 55 to 60 point range. Should be right around 30 plus goals. 17 power play points. He had 35 hits, 26 blocks, so not going to wow you in those categories. You're drafting him for goals. He'll be drafted in the later rounds for sure. 195 shots on goal. Second line will be Connor Garland, Bo Horvat, and Andrei Kuzmenko. It's a nice KHL free agent prize there that they got. Garland should be on the second power play unit. He's 26 years old. Got into 77 games last year. He had 19 goals, 33 assists for 52 points. So nice point total for him for his first year in, career high points for him. First year in Vancouver there. 3 power play points. He had 52 hits, 22 blocks, and 203 shots on goal. So as long as he keeps that up, will be fantasy relevant. Probably more of a streaming option because last year was a good season for him. Does he slate back to more of his career in the 35 to 40 point range? Remains to be seen, but should still be fantasy relevant on light nights. Bo Horvat, he should be on the top power play unit. He's 27 years old. Last year, 70 games played, 30 goal scorer, 31 goals, 21 assists for 52 points. Same amount of points, but more goals than Garland, so usually that means you're more fantasy relevant. 19 power play points, decent amount. 96 hits, not bad amount for an offensive forward. 45 blocks, 194 shots on goal. And the last one on that line is Andrei Kuzmenko. Should be on the second power play, is 26 years old. Last year had a really good season in the KHL, had 53 points in 46 games played. How does that translate into the NHL? Remains to be seen, but we've seen a lot of players that have produced in the KHL, and it's kind of hit or miss. There's some that have done really well, and others quite haven't found that success. So in a deep league, I might draft him in the later rounds. Other than that, probably going to leave him alone and watch him to see how he produces before I make judgment on him. Third line should be Vasily Podkolzin, Jason Dickinson, and Ilya Mikheyev. Now, Podkolzin, he should be on the second power play unit. 21 years old, young kid. Last year, rookie season, 79 games played, 14 goals, 12 assists for 26 points. Should improve on that, given that he has a taste in the NHL this year. He was a high draft pick for them. How much he does, just being a year older, and he was getting third line minutes last year most of the year anyways. So, should see some improvement there. Will he be fantasy relevant? To be honest, I'm leaving him alone. I will be watching to see how he produces, because he could easily move up the depth chart there. 3 power play points, 84 hits, 33 blocks, and 115 shots on goal. Dickinson, he should be on the second PK unit. He's 27 years old. Realistically, not fantasy relevant. Got into 62 games. He had 5 goals, 6 assists for 11 points. 101 hits, so decent hit total, but the lack of offensive production, there should be better options for you. 43 blocks and 66 shots on goal. And the last one on that line is their free agent signing, Mikheyev. Man, he got paid well to be a third liner. First PK unit, 27 years old. Last year, 53 games played. Only played 53 games. Had 21 goals, 11 assists for 32 points. So really nice point total. And he did play on the second line when there were some injuries in Toronto. But when everybody was healthy, he was on that third line. Had 5 power play points, 52 hits, 18 blocks, 147 shots on goal. I'm seeing because he's never broke that 20-goal plateau before, so I'm going to wait to see how he produces before I do draft him. Realistically, he's not slated to get any power play time, and he was on the second power play quite a bit last year in Toronto, so that remains to be seen. I could see him regressing a little bit. Not saying he's not going to be available to Vancouver, but fantasy-wise, I do see him peeling back a little bit there. Fourth line should be Tanner Pearson, Curtis Lazar, and Niels Hoglander. Now, Pearson, he should be on the second PK unit. He's 30 years old. Last year got into 68 games. He had 14 goals, 20 assists for 34 points, so a half point per game. 3 power play points, 84 hits, 41 blocks, and 159 shots on goal. A lot of that production came when he did have a stint on the top line there. So I would watch because he's slated to be on the fourth line. But he will be one of the first ones because he has skated with their top 6 to move up if there is injury. Because he has shown that he can play there. So do watch him. I'm not drafting him. But if he does move up the depth chart because of injury, somebody to keep an eye on throughout the season there. Now Lazar, not going to be fantasy relevant for you, unfortunately. But decent player, top PK unit, 27 years old. Last year in Boston, 70 games played. He had 8 goals, 8 assists for 16 points. So really low offensive production. 186 hits. He does throw hits. Just with the lack of production, I do think there's probably better options for you. 51 blocks and 95 shots on goal. Hoglander, he should be on the second power play unit. He's 21 years old, young kid. Last year, 60 games played. He had 10 goals, 8 assists for 18 points. So really low production. I'd wait to see. He is young, so there is potential there. I would just hold off on him and see how he progresses before you make any judgment. 3 power play points, 41 hits, 16 blocks, and 132 shots on goal. So that's Vancouver in a nutshell there. We will be coming out with another review here shortly. If you want to catch any of the previous reviews, or after these previews are done, you want to catch our goaltending ranking, defenseman rankings, or forward rankings, those will be coming out after the previews. Also, during the regular season, we do have 3 episodes every week looking at different players to help strengthen your roster. So if you don't want to miss out on these and you're watching via YouTube, remember to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and remember that notification bell. If you're listening via podcast, remember to hit follow, hit that heart, depending what platform you're listening on. Really do appreciate the support, and hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. Hope it helps you out in your upcoming drafts and helps you out throughout your fantasy leagues in the upcoming season, and we'll talk to you soon there, fantasy owners.